Hello, everybody. I am Talia. The first question or the first prompt that I chose from the um, list of prompts was, what was your initial reaction to the film so far? So when I first watched the film, I actually thought it was pretty interesting. It was pretty like alive and like interesting to see that style of music that was back then, which is really fun. When I was younger, I used to really like that music. Um, so it was really cool, and it was really cool seeing all the culture that's really put into these neighborhoods in the Bronx. It was cool to see the Latino community and to see like the African American community, how they intertwined, how they became one, and how the music combined with each other. So I thought that was really cool. Obviously we only watched the first 33 minutes, but it was like a 55-minute video. So it was really cool. The next one I chose was, what cultural interchanges are happening during these times. So I kind of just mentioned that. So in the video, it states that the African Americans from the South were mixing with the Puerto Ricans from the island. And so their kids were growing up. Half of them were listening to blues and to rhythm, and then the other half was listening to Mambo. So um, they were intertwining, and then now everyone's dancing to that music, and it's a whole different style of mixing the blues and the rhythm with the Mambo music, which is really good. And that was the interchange that was happening there. The next one I chose was, how was the Machito band different from other bands of its time? I believe in the video it said they were unlike any band at that time. People's jaws would drop when they heard it. Machito was a mambo band. It was Afro-Cuban, which was different at the time because it was either like all African-American bands or it was all Puerto Rican, Latino, Cuban bands that they would create. So for this one, to have them mix and to create a band like that with a different style, making it mambo, it was pretty cool for the time. That wasn't something that happened all the time, so it was just different from any other band that they had at the time. The last one that I chose was, how was salsa described in the film and what makes salsa distinct? So in the film, it describes salsa as like a hot New York Latin sound, really popular, very different, I guess, from any of the music at the time. Anytime in the film that you hear someone talking about salsa, they were in love, and it was just, as soon as you heard the music, you couldn't stop dancing, and you couldn't stop moving your body to the rhythm, and every part of your body would move, which I thought was really cool. It was urban music, played by diverse people. They described it a lot as like a cultural thing of the Bronx. It was more of a concept instead of a rhythm. So a lot of people of that time danced salsa in like the clubs, and when they go out, that's what they would do on a Friday night, is go and dance, which is really cool. They also described it as salsa being their voice, portraying a social and political message, which I thought was really cool. You don't see a lot of that nowadays, I guess. Not a lot of like dancing or like things like that describe how people feel and how a community is feeling and how a community wants to share their voice and lift their voice up to whatever was happening in the world at that time. So I think the video overall was pretty cool. I would definitely have just watched it just for entertainment, like if it was like a documentary or something. But yeah, I thought it was pretty great.